America. As their numbers decline, this causes trouble for agriculture. They pollinate many crops and produce honey. Less bees means there is less pollination and honey production. If they go extinct, food will become scarce. However, there is still hope for the honeybee. If certain solutions are used, the honeybee populations can increase and the bees have a bright future. And now over to Abby and Cindy.
Thank you, Rashawn. According to a 2014 White House press release, the number of managed honeybee colonies has sharply declined over the past 60 years from 6 million in 1947 to only 2.5 million colonies today.
That's right, Abby, and there are many reasons for this decline in bee population. The loss of natural forage and adequate diets for bees, as well as mite infestations, disease, and a loss of genetic diversity are all causes of the decline in population.
Not to mention the use of commercial herbicides that limit the bee's food source. The use of pesticides is also a factor in bee decline as well. One specific chemical found in pesticides that is of great concern is neonicotinoids, a chemical that prevents bees from supplying their hive with enough food to maintain a healthy hive.
This decline in the bee population has serious implications for domestic agriculture. Many crops rely on honeybees for more than 90% of their pollination. California's almond industry alone requires the pollination services of approximately 1.4 million beehives annually, 60% of all U.S. beehives.
The decline in bees can also be disastrous for the U.S. economy. Bees contribute more than $15 billion to the U.S. agricultural economy annually, so one can only imagine the economic disaster that could result if bees continue to decline at their current rate, especially for agriculturally based economies.
Not only that, but a third of our food supply is reliant on bee pollination. Fruits and vegetables such as apples, nuts, and alfalfa could become less available and prices could potentially increase if bee pollination continues to decrease.
Those are the problems and impacts that declining bee populations have. Now on to the solutions that can help save the honeybee. Joining me now is Rolanda and Ashley.
Thank you, Roshan. In response to the growing problem of the decline of the population of the honeybees, America has taken some pretty drastic measures. Reports from the White House have shown that nearly $50 million is going to be invested across multiple agencies within the USDA to take preventative measures.
Yes, the government is using this investment to enhance research through public-private grants, strengthen pollinator habitat in core areas, double number of acreage dedicated to pollinator health, and increase funding for surveys to determine the impact on pollinator losses.
In building on this budget initiative, the President has issued a presidential memorandum. This memorandum will serve the purpose of creating a federal strategy to promote the health of honeybees and other pollinators. The strategy will include a coordinated research action plan to understand, prevent, and recover from pollinator losses, including determining the relative impacts of habitat loss, pesticide exposure, and other stressors. One of the first steps to implementing this is the establishment of the Pollinator Health Task Force.
The creation of this task force will be done by partnering with state, tribal, local governments, farmers, businesses, and non-governmental organizations to help protect our pollinators. Furthermore, they will develop plans to enhance pollinator habitat on federal lands and facilities to serve as examples to significantly expand acreage and quality of pollinator habitat.
So, Ashley, what are your thoughts on the government's involvement in this issue? Do you think there will be any change now that this issue has risen to such a large scale national level?
Of course, our government has implemented a rigorous plan to help our pollinator. That plan includes the institution of a public education plan to help individuals, businesses, and other organizations address pollinator losses.
Aside from the federal government's involvement, for there to be an effective and permanent solution, the general American public will also need to take steps in preventing the decline of the bee population.
We have our reporter Lisa Sanders standing by Jose Ibarra. Take a look at how a member of the general public, like our viewers at home, has taken initiative to prevent the decline of the bee population. To the right, we have inserted a few pictures of Jose's garden that he tends to at home. Excuse me, sir, can we interview you?
Well, ma'am, yes you can. How can I help you today?
Well, Jose, what steps have you taken in light of our current situation?
Well, in the garden at home, I plant things that bees like, such as blue, purple, and yellow flies. The amazing plants that I have are lavenders, sage, clovers, and buttercups. I also like to use natural pesticide instead of chemical ones.
By natural, you mean a more environmentally friendly pest control?
Yes, I do. I also like to support the beekeepers by buying honey from them.
Well, you've heard it from an American citizen such as yourself. And back to you, Rolanda.
Yes, that was very informative. And for viewers at home, these are also ways in which you can help.
Like Jose said, grow bee-friendly plants and also use natural forms of pesticide as a mean of pest control.
This has been your local news station, GNN. Have a wonderful morning.